So the budget unveiled for 2012, is this budget good for Ghana?
It seems to be. It's a populist budget going into an election. Yeah, I think these are initial reactions. We haven't really had time to delve into it deeply since it only came out in the last sort of hour and a half. But a lot of focus on spending, a lot of focus on job creation, which are all messages which you would think to see in an election year.
Yeah, absolutely. So fairly populist. But concerns have been raised, particularly by the opposition, that this particular government, because of that populist spin, have tended to spend too much. We're now seeing the budget deficit grow from 2% to 4.8%, even by the finance minister's estimations. We're seeing debt also rising. It's creating a bit of an uncomfortable sentiment in some quarters.
It is, and especially when you look at how Ghana is blessed with natural resources like gold, oil, cocoa, which are all booming in this, which is a great time for commodities. So you would think maybe it's a time to be building reserve for when times aren't so good. But that being said, in election year, you will see an increase in spending. You will see an increase in spending in infrastructure, which does benefit the country at large.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, budget deficit of 4.8%, that's still manageable in global terms.
Certainly. It's relatively modest in global terms, and I think lower than what was expected when the midterm budget numbers came out earlier in the year, when they posted number 5.1% as their expectation.
Up until recently, Ghana's had the good fortune of not having an inflationary problem, but that started to creep in. And because of inflation not having been a major priority, the Bank of Ghana wasn't acting decisively on the interest rate fund. They weren't coming in to defend the Ghanaian cedi. But here's the currency now taking a knock. Here's inflation starting to tick up. In an election year with greater spending, would you like to see authorities do more?
Personally not. I think it's best if authorities stay out of the currency and let the market decide the true rate. Particularly where there are relatively modest national reserves, about 3%, three months import cover, and in the budget statement it was said that we're looking to keep that 3-month buffer. So to use that on keeping the currency and not letting it find its natural level isn't really sustainable.
Okay. Opposition, obviously, it's electioneering and politicking, are calling for a debt ceiling, largely because in the 3 years of this administration being in power, we've seen them borrow in the region of about $14 billion US. Can Ghana manage that?
I think they can. It is a big number coming off a very low base, but again, being blessed with those commodities in a bull run, an extended bull run of particularly oil and gold, it is certainly manageable, but it is something to watch closely into the future.
Growth reforecast from 13% to 9.5%. I say 9.5% is still a pretty decent figure, but everybody's been very bullish about Ghana. We were told that it could even grow in the region of 20%, this economy, because of their newfound oil wealth. What are the drivers of growth? Can they sustain these high rates?
I think a more austere projection, but certainly, as you mentioned, very fantastic growth, and certainly one anyone would take in these tougher times. I think it is sustainable given, again, higher oil prices and more production coming on stream. Again, the higher gold price contributing.
Okay. The IMF is saying to Ghana, though, you need to expand on your revenue sources. You need to think about raising corporate taxes, probably even windfall taxes some people are calling for.
Yeah, corporate tax increase was relatively low. I think no corporates or investors like to see an increase in tax. Saying that for the good of the country, they were relatively low, 25%. The proposed increase of 10% on the corporate base is not overly onerous. Windfall taxes, I think, are another issue, and we had seen a big kickback in a number of jurisdictions, including South Africa, Australia, and others, against windfall taxes on commodity producers. So I think that one will have a lot more resistance than a general increase in the corporate base.
Ghana is one of those countries that's gone to the international debt markets. The pricing of Ghanaian risk, I mean, when investors look at Ghana, what do they see? What are their perceptions?
What they see is a stable democracy, and that is a massive tick in what is, it can be a volatile environment. I mean, we saw the last election change on 20,000 votes, which was a fantastic performance, and it's such a solid indication of how strong that democracy is. And the investors love Ghana because of these reasons. That underpinning the strong growth in the economy is that stable, strong democracy.
What do you have in your favour if you put money in Ghana? Obviously, the government now spending on infrastructure. That's a good sign. You've also got a fairly well-educated workforce, we're told, in Ghana. The kind of democracy you're talking about. Why would you go to Ghana and not Nigeria, for instance, or Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal?
I don't think it's a case of choosing one at the exclusion of the others. But a good, easy place to do business is what's certainly in Ghana's favour and what attracts people to that market. Not a huge amount of red tape when setting up a business, ease of transacting, and a helpful bureaucracy in government which aids doing business in that market.